Hey Frank, Calvin here with Mr. and Mrs. Leads. I got your card from the BNI group. On January 8th, I had my feature presentation, and I got your card. You wanted to kind of have me go through your website, give you the attack plan, kind of show you what we can do to improve your online presence. So let's go ahead and get started. So basically, looking at your website, I do see that you guys have quite a bit of content about your website, which is great. But let me show you some of the issues that I did find, okay? When I ran your site through Google to see what pages are actually being indexed, meaning if someone was to search for a keyword, a key term, key phrase, these are the pages that would be indexed with Google that Google would be able to serve up for you. So these would be the pages that Google would allow in their search engine, right? And so, as you can see here, there's only 5 results. I know it says 6, but I don't really count this first one. So 5 total results of your web pages that are actually being indexed. And if I go to another tool I like to use called Ahrefs, now this normally will give me any information on the back end as far as SEO, letting me know what kind of organic keywords you're getting found for, if there's any other websites that are referring you. This would give me all that data, but as you can see, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of data at all. So when I ran your site through Pingdom, now this is a free tool that you can use. This just kind of analyzes the server and some of the code on your website. The only thing that really stood out to me was just this stuff, which is it has to do with the code on your website. So cleaning up some of that to make it your website, score higher. And by doing so, you would be able to start getting ranked and found. So as far as the load time, it seems like a pretty quick load time, but because of these code issues, code errors, it's giving us a performance of a lower score. So looking at another tool I like to use called GT Metrics is another free tool. Basically, this kind of tests some of the same stuff that the last one tests, but this is going to go into a little bit more detail, talk about images, stuff like that. So if I go here, serve scaled images, what that means is basically anytime you have an image on your website, that the website has to automatically resize when a user reaches the page. It's going to slow down your website a bit. And so what I can see right here is all the images that could be resized to fit better on your website to serve up better. And so you can see, like, for example, this image here, if I open that one, it's going to be that. So the original image size is 765 pixels by 393, and they're saying that the website has to resize it down to 100 by 51 pixels, according to this chart. So if you were to, take that image off your site, resize it, and then reload it in there, it helps speed up the rendering of your website because the website's not having to take the time to automatically resize it for you. So just a little tidbit there. And another tool I like to use, this is Think with Google. This is a new tool that came out last year during the summer. And this rates your website based on 3G mobile devices. Now, I know a lot of people are using 4G nowadays. I came from the cell phone industry, so I'm a little bit aware of that. But there are still people out there that are using 3G phones, and what this is saying, if somebody does land on your web page, it's going to take them about 10 seconds to load it on those types of phones, resulting in an estimated visitor loss of 29%. So, they're saying based on the, all the information that Google already knows, if it takes 10 seconds to load a web page, there's a good chance a lot of people are just going to back out of it thinking that it's not going to load. A lot of people are just used to instant gratification anymore. So that's what I could find organically and kind of what you're being found for, right? And so not a whole lot going on there. I would imagine most of the business is probably through referrals or through advertising of some sorts. I didn't dive too much into exploring other ways that you're generating traffic. But if I go to my audit report, so this is a little telling. And so when I ran your website through the audit, it basically crawls your website just like Google would. And it came up with a lot of information. And so obviously 4,900 issues found is not something good, but you can see where there's a whole bunch of empty alt text. There's some other issues going on here, some broken links, basically saying that there's links on your website that don't really go anywhere, or they may have gone to a partner website or another website that you work with, and they have since changed the URL and it no longer works. So that's what basically broken links means. Now, one thing I did notice right off the bat is if I scroll down in the audit report a little bit, it says that there's a lot of pages, 261 resources or pages, that are being restricted from indexing. So it looks like a lot of these have to do with like blogs and stuff having to do with your industry. I would actually recommend to allow them to be indexed because the more Google can understand about your website and what services you offer, what it is, what it is that you do, the better they are at putting you in front of the right audiences. So having all this information, the blog information about realtors and different real estate stuff having to do with your industry, you don't want to disallow them from being crawled by the search engines, because that's when you get stuff like this, where I ran your website through the, this is basically just a short code, just site : and then whatever website, and it should list all the websites having to do with that URL. And so this is only going to show URLs that are indexed with Google, meaning, as I mentioned at the beginning, if someone's searching for a keyword or key term, this is what Google has available to for your company to serve in front of these people that are looking for you. So anyways, Frank, I hope this information was useful. I'd love to get with you to kind of clean up some of this stuff if you're interested. All my contact information is in my email signature. Feel free to reach out, and thank you for your time.